Hey everybody, Brandon Schultz here, and I'm speaking to you today with a heavy but a hopeful heart. I want to share with you just a few thoughts on what's happening in the world around us. I know we're looking at the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's left many of us angry, sad, and asking the question, what do we do now? And as we think about this question, I want us to remember a phrase. It's a phrase coined by an early church leader named Tertullian. And the phrase is that the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. And what he was saying nearly 2,000 years ago in North Africa, when martyrdom was common, many Christians were persecuted and even killed. He was saying, look, the more they try to destroy the church, the greater the impact the church will have and the greater it will grow because it's such a key part of God's redemptive. It is the key part of God's redemptive story that he's writing on this earth. And we're seeing that all around us as we look at the wake and the aftermath of this terribly tragic event. We are seeing people come to Christ. We are seeing families turn back to God. We are seeing churches being filled. We are seeing people rise up and begin to take on the banner or carry the torch that Charlie once carried. So we are seeing that happen right in front of us. So even though it's heavy, it's also incredibly hopeful. I also wanted to just mention in the book of Revelation, Revelation 6, 9 to 11, John's having this incredible vision and he sees heaven and the martyrs come before God and they cry out to God and they say, how long, O Lord, until you judge and avenge our blood? And then God turns to them and he gives them a white robe and he tells them to rest. He says, rest for a bit until the full number of your brothers has been reached. And so we understand from that God not only sees suffering, but we also understand that it's part of his redemptive plan, and not just suffering, but even martyrdom. And so we understand that from the scriptures. And so even in this painful time, we understand that God does have a redemptive plan, and that redemptive plan is being worked out. But we still should process, think, mourn, discuss, talk about, and honor the moment and honor the Lord with our response to it. It's so incredibly important. And so Charlie Kirk, he was known for modeling boldness. He spoke on campuses, he engaged young people, he contested cultural narratives. This is something that those of us that are involved in Christian education, we deeply value. And he was unafraid to take risks. He was unafraid to stand where others would stay quiet. Incredible, incredible testimony. And his life is a reminder that influence matters. And that discipleship is costly, but also that discipleship is powerful. It can have an incredible effect on the world around you. And so today, as we think about this, I just want to invite you as a parent, Christian parent, as an Christian educator, or just as a Christian in general. If you're part of this school community, I just want to invite you to double down on your commitment, your personal commitment to discipling the next generation. That's what I'm doing as a school administrator. That's what I'm doing as a dad. That's what we're doing as a school community. We're going to double down on discipling the next generation. We're going to recommit to it, even though we're already committed to it. We're going to recommit to it. And so, what does that look like? Well, it looks like meaningful, intentional conversations. It's just that easy. If you're a parent in your home, meaningful, intentional conversations, talking about what's happening in the world around us, why it matters, what is good, what is right, what is holy, what is precious, talking about those things intentionally on a regular basis, not leaving the world to discuss those values with our kids, but us instead taking ownership of it and discussing it first. It looks like dinner table discipleship. So us sitting at our dinner tables and having those meaningful conversations, talking about our personal testimonies with our kids. And I don't mean just telling them how you came to Christ, but what are you learning in your quiet times? What's God teaching you? As a dad, how am I responding to what the Lord is telling me? And what are some of my challenges that He's encouraging me in? What's He saying and doing? How is He leading our family? Simple, simple dinner table discipleship can be a powerful spiritual formation event in the lives of the next generation. So I want to encourage you in that. Family prayer. It doesn't have to be a big event that causes us to pray together as a family. No, instead, we should seek the Lord together with our family, pray with our kids, pray together, engage in prayer for our nation with one another, whatever that looks like in your home. If you don't do it, it's a great time to start doing it. If you've done it some, it's a great t time to re-up it and to do it more. And then, of course, the last one that I think is really important is school engagement. What's happening at your kids' schools? Not just academically. A lot of parents will do this. They get very involved academically. They look at the grades. If there's discipline issues, they'll address those. But what about the spiritual issues happening at the school? If your child is part of a Christian school community, you can engage in the spiritual formation of your child and what they're teaching at the school. If not, you can also engage and discuss some of the things that are happening and being taught at school. And as the first discipler of your child, you can be a huge part of that process. It really doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple and part of your everyday life. So, just some final thoughts. Charlie Kirk's death, of course, was tragic, and so we mourn. But as Christians, we know the story does not end in death. Resurrection is coming. God is building his church. The cry of the martyrs is heard, and every testimony, every suffering for truth is not lost, but it's used by God. Let us honor Charlie Kirk's life and all who suffer for their testimony by passing on faith that is bold, that's generational, that's enduring. Let us double down on this, double down on discipleship, double down on truth, double down on the courage to build children whose faith isn't fragile but enduring, whose love isn't shallow but rooted, whose lives aren't just successful by worldly standards but marked by God's eternal purpose. If God has ordained a number of martyrs, let us be found among those who walk with him with courage and who raise children who will do likewise. Let our homes be places where faith is lived, and let our schools be places where faith is taught with clarity. Let our legacy be one of spiritual multiplication so that even in grief, God's kingdom advances.